Okay, so now back to what I was talking about at the beginning. And the first step is now we need to return the address to AddTaskActivity. And we want to display it on this AddTask view here instead of the button that was there before, which was Add Location to Task. So when you click Add Location to Task, go get the address, and then onActivity result will be called on the AddTaskActivity, and we'll have an address, and we will replace that with we'll replace the button with that text. So those are the steps we're going to go through right now. So back here in Add Location Map Activity, the next step we need to do is when the user clicks the Use Location button, I'm just going to paste in a click listener here down inside the Setup Views method. We're going to finish this intent, and now I gotta go. I already thought I already imported intent. I guess I didn't do it in this class. So let me import intent. Okay, so now when the Use Location button is clicked, if there's an address, we're going to finish. And the way we're going to finish is by creating an intent, putting an extra into the intent, which is keyed by the address result, just like we used last inside the Add Task activity. We expected this address result constant to use as the key to pull back that intent data or that intent extra, and then we put the address in at that value for that key, and then we set the result to OK using the intent. And that means that when we click finish, first of all, but any activity that started that activity as a result will have onActivity result called with that result code, and the intent will be passed. So this is how this method signature, the needs of this method are met by inside of Add Location Map Activity, set on click listener. We set up this intent with the result that we want, and then we set the result of this activity with that OK and that intent, and that's how that everything is set up for that other method to be called. Then when we call finish, this will finish, this activity will finish, and onActivity result will be called. So then what we want to do is, after we've got this address, we will on Add Task Activity, I think the way that I chose to do it is on Resume. So this is actually going to come in handy for next class when there's another code path that we need to care about having an address. And that's in the case that we just the task has an address already set up on it. So what we're going to do in any case is on Resume in this Add Task Activity, we will check to see if we have an address. And if we do have an address, we're going to set the visibility of this Add Location button to gone, which we don't have a reference to yet. We're going to grab in a second. And then the address text, which is this text, let me go back to the comps, the text that we will replace the button with, we're going to set that to visible, and then we'll set the text of that to the address that we've got, just the first line of that address, which will just be like the lowest coarseness of, or the finest grain, piece of the address, like the street. Okay, so now I need to go get reference to these guys, and actually I need to check in the view on the Add Task view to see if we have the address text field there, and no, we don't. So I need to paste that in. That is inside of Add Task, and we'll create a text view underneath the edit text, which will replace this button, the Add Location button. But we'll start off with the visibility of gone, which means, I think that we already talked about this in a previous class, but it basically means that this component is not considered in the layout at all. So I can lay out things relative to it, but it's like it takes up 0 pixels. And then I want it to be called address text. And then this add location button, we already have that ID. We just need to get a handle to them in the AddTaskActivity setup views. So I will copy that in down here in setup views, where I've already getting handles to other components. Now I'll get a handle to these as well. So I need to create some fields for add location button, address text, and I need to import text view. Not sure why that didn't get imported when I pasted things in here, but I will paste that import in now at the top of the file. I can collapse the imports, and now everything should be imported. Address text set visibility. I think that's because it didn't know what import or anything about the. Yep, so it imported that as a, or it typed that as an object. I need to make that a text view. Okay, now we're all no errors. So on resume, if there's an address, then we will set the visibility of the add location button. I'm sorry, if there is no address, we'll set the visibility of the add location button to visible, and we'll set the address text visibility to gone. And otherwise, we'll swap those things and make the address text show up. So I think that's all we need to make this work. Oops, I still didn't paste that. Now I've got to type it in again. I should have copied and pasted that. That's address.
You can have a cheat sheet next time with all your addresses on it.
Well, actually, that's interesting too. That may be interesting to some people. The emulator doesn't share a clipboard with my system, so I'd have to copy it in on the actual emulator. Okay, so add location to task. 1600. Mountain View, California. Okay. Everybody should know that address by now. It zooms in, and there we are. There's Google. We say use this location, and there we go. It finishes back to this activity, hides that button, shows the first line of the address, and now we could be ready to add this task with a location. Okay. That is the code portion.